community, it's Myron again at Zuk's Off-Road. I want to thank everybody for really helping my channel grow. I've been asked to do this for a really long time, and some cool things are happening. People want to sponsor me on a few things, and today's sponsor is roadlessgear.com up in Montana. Figmo and I have been working together on a lot of things for a long time, and he has got a wonderful product called the Shake and Brake. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen. Technically, you're going to be providing the air chisel and spring, but it's going to be sent to you with the handle. We call this a rat-a-tat. But basically, you just put it in the screw, you squeeze the air trigger, and when you shake it a little bit, then you just turn it with the handle. It'll get those tough screws out of a Samurai every time. I want to tell you about a little story that happened a long time ago. Here in Arizona, we had a big barbecue at my house in a trail run. And a fellow was doing one of my products, and he asked me how to get the screws out. And I told him to take a chisel and put it on the side of the screw and turn the head, because at that time there was no shake and brakes. This is going back a long time ago. And so most of us were in the house, we just hear this bang and bang and bang, and then he comes in and goes, well, how do I get the screws out? I chisel all the heads off. And so we named him Chisel, and he was with our club for a really, really long time till he moved out of state. But that was just a little joke I wanted to share with you today, how to get a bad nickname. Anyways, thank you, Roadless Gear. Thank you for this wonderful tool called Shake and Brake. We really appreciate that. And we'll put a link for this in the video so that you guys can pick that up. So, seeing that we're talking about screwing today, I want to remind a lot of you new guys that you really need to watch the video on Google. You just do Consumer Union versus Suzuki, and it'll come up. It's about a 15-minute video about the court case. It's all over the internet. For us as Suzuki enthusiasts, this is the reason why we do not have the new Suzuki in America. Because they lied about the test, they rigged the test. But I'll let you watch it and you come to your own conclusion. Because in my opinion, it's probably the first fake news that hurt people like us that are into guns and off-roading and pretty women and all the things that we do and enjoy. But again, talking about screwing, we got screwed by that video. And that led me to think about what I could do. How does a Suzuki get STD? A lot of you know what that means. Well, you've seen a sticker in the past called My Suzuki Has Crabs. And so today we're going to be talking about crabs. We're going to show you how they go on the car, whether it's a spring over, front and rear. And we have them for Toyotas, we have them for Sidekicks, but today we're just going to be talking about Samurais, and those will be linked in the website also. And as a teaser, I've always told you guys, things are going wonderful for our community. These did not exist. I've been selling these for a while now. We have original castings from the factory. And so we're selling brand new. I can actually build a brand new T-case with all brand new parts now from Japan. All 100% Japan. But these are available. I'm not going to really get into a lot of details on this today. Just want to remind you, and again there'll be a link to this on our website. If you need a front cover, if you need a half cover, because that's where most of them broke. If you need a front cover, we'll break it down and sell you what you need, but we also sell it complete. So with that being said, let's go take a look and see how you protect your front cover in the rocks with the Zuk's Off-Road crabs. Let's go take a look at that. All right, we're going to start with the rear today, and typical Samurai, this is your double brake line, so it means it's an early one where most of them are, because if you watch the video, like I said, you'll actually know how many numbers of Suzuki Samurais were sold every year. So anyways, we're going to remove this bolt here. Now you can take this off by just opening it up, but today I'm just going to slide it off to the side. Obviously we want to get to our drain or our fill plug there, and so you line that up, and it's really important that you weld on the thick part. I have blown through the thin cover. That's how thin it is. I have been out camping with people, wheeling with people, and here comes limping back in a Samurai, and you can see the ring and pinion because they backed into a rock or they drove into the rock in the front. So you're going to just weld the outside edges of these feet, and if you really want to be cool, you're going to be copying a friend of mine who took some steel conduit that looks like a coil, and he attached it, wrapped it around the axle tube, and he painted the alien face on here, if you know what I mean about the crabs on Alien. And so this is our rear crab for Suzuki Samurai. Let's go up to the front, take a look at that. So on the front, you can see how exposed the cover is when you do a spring over axle. And that's where the crab really comes in. And again, of course, you want to line that up, and you're only welding the feet here. Now, we are going to show you the crab on a sprung under with the tie rod going across here. We're going to show you that in a second. But again, I have blown through these covers, and then you have to take the axles out and pull the diff to fill that hole up from the back side. So remember, you're only going to weld on the outside, and they're super strong. These are 1/4 inch thick. These are going to save your axles from being damaged on rock, log, stuff like that. Now, what makes these so special, and they were rated by a company that's gone now, Izuk, a long time ago when these came out, 18 years ago. These are the only crabs, or excuse me, I should say diff protection is what they really are, that have great big feet so the rocks and the mud can come out. Because the last thing you want is that old school cover that has a little drain hole, gets clogged up, and the water sits on here, and the next thing you know, that little thin cover, it just completely rusts a hole in it, and then you got nothing but trouble, got to replace the axle. So again, the Zork crabs on a sprung over, really easy to do. Let's go look at a normal sprung under and see how that works. Okay, so here we are on a typical front Samurai axle, the way they came from the factory, and as you can see, the tie rod is right in front of the cover. Now the crabs, they come in front and rear. For a Samurai, it means they have longer legs in the rear and shorter legs in the front. And so what you do is you just get that in there. Make sure that you line it up so that you can get the fill plug out. But more importantly, before you weld it on, you want to turn all the way to the passenger side and make sure it doesn't hit right here. Because as you might not be able to see this, but as you turn to the passenger, it gets really, really close. Now, if it hits, you need to do a little sanding. You might need to sand the feet down a little bit, but I've made this as close as I possibly can to give you the ultimate protection with the ZuksOffRoad, what we call a crab. So if you need a sticker for this, you get a hold of Dan Muskoff. His link will be in the end of the video. So if you want a sticker that says my Zook has crabs, Dan will print that for you. Well, thanks very much for watching. We always appreciate you guys. Really like the fact that you're commenting. And remember my cell phone for tech support. That's better. Doing tech support on YouTube has taken me too long, too much of my time, so I really would appreciate it if you text me for that personal tech support that you need for your Suzuki Samurai. Next week, we're going to be talking about a really important thing, is how not to introduce death wobble when you do a lift on a Samurai. We're going to go over all the angles, we're going to show you how that works, why it does that, and it's the same for Toyota and Suzuki because they were both made by Aisin. And we're also going to be going over a lot of other things because as you've seen or commenting on, a lot of you like what I'm telling you because this knowledge is going to go away. I'm the last old guy left in the Suzuki business that's willing to share all the information that I have. So thank you very much for watching. And Zuk's Off-Road Crabs, they're going to save you a lot of money when you don't have to replace your axles. Thank you very much for watching. Go wheeling, have fun.